Hello, Petal. Back again so soon. I'm only saying that because I would actually assume that you might listen to chapter 21 straight after chapter 20. But if not, how you doing? How you doing, Petal? How things going? How's life? Because we got a pinky teeny tiny small chapter coming up, I'm going to get straight into it. And then we can look forward to the next couple of days and the ending finale of the book. Faust among Equals by our beloved, fantastical Mr. Thomas of Holt. Chapter 21. Freeze! Piss off. Oh. Helen of Troy frowned. She'd been to great trouble to acquire the small, pearl-handled automatic, more trouble still to get here, and virtually infinite pains to sneak up on Lundqvist in the bar and jam the muzzle of the gun into his ear. A girl likes to be appreciated. You do realise, she said huffily, that this is a gun I'm...
Yeah, Lundqvist sighed. Sure. To be precise, it's a .25 Bauer, chrome finish, early 70s at a guess, pearl grips and machine engraving on the rear of the slide. I imagine you chose it to go with your earrings. Helen was impressed.
You can tell all that from feeling it in your ear.
Lady, Lundqvist replied with dignity, I've had more pieces shoved up my ear than you've had men. The difference is I can tell them apart in the dark.
Pig!
Helen sat down on a bar stool. Narrator's note, it was a different time, but she's holding her own, so we'll have that.
It's still a gun, she said, and if you make a move, I'll pull the trigger. Understood?
I was way ahead of you.
Fine. With her left hand, Helen grabbed a handful of peanuts from the dish on the bar and gobbled them. 7 hours since she'd last eaten, not counting the biscuits on the plane. So, what have you done with him?
Lundqvist laughed bitterly. What have I done with him? Get out of here, will you? It's been a long day.
Helen caught her breath. You mean he's escaped?
Lundqvist nodded. It takes practice to nod safely with a loaded gun in your ear, but Lundqvist had the experience. Yeah, he said. If you're buying, mine's a very large Jack Daniels. No ice. If not, get lost.
You're sure he escaped?
Lundqvist allowed himself a wry smile. Well, he said, he escaped from me. What became of him after that is entirely his own problem.
You mean he's in danger? Helen demanded angrily. And you're just sitting drinking?
I'm trying to drink. Idiots come and shove iron in my ears, but I guess I'll have to learn to take that sort of thing in my stride.
Men! Helen finished the peanuts, then nudged a little harder with the gun. If you don't find him this instant, I'll shoot you. A look of utter contempt flitted across Lundqvist's face, wiping its feet on his eyebrows as it passed.
I get you, he said. First you'll shoot me if I don't lay off. Now you'll shoot me unless I find him. Consistency's not a big thing with you, right?
Just shut up and get on with it.
Anything you say, sister. Just one more drink and I'll be...
Now! By way of reinforcing her remarks, Helen pressed what she took to be the safety catch. The net effect was to send the magazine shooting out the bottom of the gun into the residue of Lundqvist's Jack Daniels. He fished it out, made a vulgar noise, and handed it to her. Does this mean you won't help me? She said.
Yeah.
Please? Lundqvist lifted his glass to his face, noticing the thin scum of gun oil on the meniscus just in time. He sighed and waved to the barman. I think you're mean, said Helen, and started to cry. Everyone in the bar turned their heads and stared.
All right,
Lundqvist snapped.
Whatever you like, just for the love of God, shut up that goddamn sniffing.
And no going arresting him when we do find him.
Lundqvist chuckled bitterly. Me, he said. Arrest anybody, that'll be the day.
They stopped outside the emergency exit. "He went in there?" Helen demanded.
Lundqvist nodded, sat down on the grass, and started to make a daisy chain.
"Come on," said Helen impatiently. "What are you waiting for?"
"Lady," Lundqvist didn't look up, "if you want to shoot me, first draw back the slide with your left hand, holding the pistol firmly in your right. When the slide is back against the stop, let go smoothly so as not to jam the feed, and release the safety catch, which is the small lever above the back of the grip on the left-hand side. Your gun is now ready to fire. Do not pull the trigger, rather squeeze firmly but smoothly in one continuous movement. I've been in there once, and that will do me fine."
"Chicken?"
Lundqvist nodded, pulled up a dandelion, and stuck it behind his ear.
"I'll start crying again."
"Be my guest."
Just then, EuroBosch hurried by, clutching a portable telephone, flung open the door and shot through. Close behind him, running lopsided because of the heavy toolbox he had with him and looking rather charred round the edges, was Niccolo Machiavelli. Following him, at a rather longer interval, came Christopher Columbus, Hamlet, Prince of Denmark, Leonardo da Vinci, William Caxton, two seagulls, Don Juan, Albrecht Dürer, Julius van der Decker, Martin Luther, Don Quixote de la Mancha, wearing odd socks, Sir Thomas Malory, and others too numerous to particularize. The painter Botticelli, bringing up the rear, called out, "Watch your Nelly, damn another sitting some time," as he dashed past. All of them were carrying big duffel bags.
The door slammed. "I take it you don't need me any more."
Lundqvist sighed. He had finished his daisy chain and lowered it gingerly over his head. It stuck around his ears. "No," Helen replied distantly. "Thanks."
"Glad to be of service," said Lundqvist, and returned to the bar.
The marketing director of Hell Holdings plc stood back, admiring his handiwork and sucking his thumb where he'd hit it with the hammer. The notice wasn't quite straight, but nailing bits of plywood to polystyrene trees wasn't exactly his thing. Not bad for a beginner.
The sign read, "Gala Night."
There is no universally accepted definition of a gala night, except that it costs more to go in. He ran his eye down the list of advertised attractions and nodded his head contentedly.
"Bird-headed fiends, torments of the damned, unimaginable horrors, ox roast and mammoth car boot sale."
He hesitated for a moment. At the time it had seemed pretty neat, but now he actually saw it in place. Perhaps it lacked a certain culminating zing. Taking a thick-nibbed marker pen from his pocket, he wrote in "Conga" at the bottom, grinned and turned to depart. Just then the tree caught fire. It burned without being consumed, predictably enough. Not so the notice, which vanished in a curl of ash. Why couldn't the old fool use the phone like everybody else? Imagine time. There is no way you possibly could, but try and picture in your mind's eye an enormous machine with a hopper at one end and conveyor belt at the other. Into a hopper go phenomenal quantities of the raw material. It's invisible and intangible, naturally, so they use special harmless dyes to make it easier to perceive and handle. These are burnt off in the processing. That's us. So, if some clever dick philosopher comes up to you and tries to tell you that man is the measure of all things and we're working towards an ultimate purpose, take no notice. The role of humanity in the great design is somewhere between permitted food colouring and barcodes. Time is a convenient, if misleading, term used to describe the potential energy of the impending future. It burns, and the gases produced by its combustion compress a piston in the cylinder of physics, producing the power needed to turn the year on its axis and drive the barrel organ of the spheres. Like most internal combustion engines, its burn is depressingly inefficient. time burns at about 1% efficiency because the future is so impure with alternative sequences of events that only a minute part of each load of raw material actually oxidizes on ignition. The rest might have burned if only things had been different. The waste material comes out the back end, is loaded on tipper trucks and taken away for the neighbours to complain about. And boy, do they complain. Whoa. So we got a big conglomerate of famous figures of history hooning it into the fun fair, the fun fair that is designed by EuroBosch. I have to roll the R's on saying EuroBosch. I don't know why. I just do. It's fun. So you got them hooning it into the oh my goodness, what was it called? EuroBosch, there we go, EuroBosch. They're hooning it into EuroBosch, all with duffel bags. What's in duffel bags? Who knows what's in the duffel bags? Nobody knows what's in the duffel bags. So they go hooning it into there, and then we've got Lundqvist. He's just giving up the ghost. He's like, I'm gonna go for a pint, sod this for a game of soldiers. You've got Lucky George. He's still upstairs with the big man, and then you got Helen of Troy, not knowing what the heck is going on. She's fallen on into EuroBosch as well. Signs are being put up. Big gala going on. You know it's going to be just a smidge of chaos going on. Yeah. I love Tom Holt. He's such a freaking legend. We have one more chapter left of this book, which I shall do hopefully tomorrow or Friday. Tomorrow or Friday? Is it tomorrow or Friday? Is it Wednesday today? I don't know. Who knows? I've lost all track of time, even with that eloquent explanation at the end of that last chapter. Oakley dokley doodles! If you could hit that notifications bell, hit the like button if you enjoyed this very teeny tiny small chapter, but still it's all part of the big picture. If you could hit the like button, notifications bell, share and subscribe, only if you want to. It does help the channel and it keeps everything going. And I do appreciate the fact that you all do that for me. And I know I don't need to remind you, it's just that whole algorithmic thing. I digress. We shall be back then in a couple of days with the finale, chapter 22, the final chapter, which again is only a short one. So if I am able to, I will try and do the first chapter of Paint Your Dragon, or I might do that on Monday next week. We shall see. However, I hope you take it easy. Enjoy the weather is. See, I've lost the ability to speak. Oh my goodness, right. Breathe. Try that again. Enjoy the weather where you are. Actually, that could be a hell of a tongue twister. I've got on the right tangent now. Enjoy the weather wherever you are. There we go. As I said, do that. Stay safe, get good rest, hydrate, have good drinks, enjoy your tea, enjoy your coffee, and we shall reconvene in a couple of days. And did you guess the other? Biddle-doo, biddle-doo, biddle-doo. Take it easy, Petal.